time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samrasingha, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Proposal on the National Council will be submitted to Parliament on Tuesday. The circular on the retirement of state employees issued. Employees involved in the fuel scandal at Ambewala Milk Factory sent on compulsory leave. A training program launched for prospective overseas employees. Validity period of temporary driving license extended. Foreign news. A queue builds ahead of Queens lying in state. Sports news. Mahela Jayawardene takes up the role at Mumbai Indians as the franchise global head of performance. Local news in detail. The resolution to constitute the Parliament Committee designated National Council is scheduled to be debated on the 20th from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., following which the approval of the Parliament is to be obtained. Secretary-General of the Parliament, Mr. Dhammika Dasanayake, said this was decided at the Committee on Parliamentary Business held today under the chairmanship of Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene. Parliament is scheduled to meet from the 20th to 23rd, and questions for oral answers have been scheduled to be taken up from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. except on Friday the 23rd. The Secretary-General also said there was agreement to give permission to the parties who request to visit the Parliament, including school children, on days when there are no parliamentary sittings. The circular has been issued on retirement of government employees at the age of 60. The circular issued under the signature of Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration, MMPK Mayadune, states that necessary arrangements to the Pensions Act have been proposed. Accordingly, government employees exceeding the age of 60 will be asked to go on retirement. Opportunity has been given to the employees who complete the age limit of 60 by December 31st to apply for retirement. All employees connected to the fuel fraud at the milk factory Ambewala have been sent on compulsory leave. Information has revealed that over 45,000 litres of diesel have been sold illegally. This has occurred since the previous year. The chairman of the Milco, Renuka Pereira, said that action has been taken to send all suspected employees on compulsory leave until the investigations are over. A program has been commenced to train workers for overseas jobs. This is implemented by the National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority. Assistant Director of the NETA, M. El Prianta Fernando, stated that providing trainings for those who go abroad as healthcare and restaurant workers has already been commenced. It has been planned to commence the training in 5 districts of the country. He further said that this would provide the workers with better wages and more recognition. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
Continuing with more local news, a special operation mounted by the Sri Lanka Navy and Sri Lanka Coast Guard led to the interception of an Indian boat carrying about 434 kilograms of Kerala cannabis, and 5 Indian suspects aboard have been arrested in northwestern waters last evening. The coordinated operation has led to the apprehension of a local fishing trawler along with 5 Sri Lankan nationals suspected to be involved in the incident. The street value of the stock of the Kerala cannabis seized in this operation is believed to be over 130 million rupees. Public Utility Commission of Sri Lanka today introduced a hotline 077 568 7387 to address the inquiries by the consumers related to the recent electricity tariff hike in the country. Public Utilities Commission Chairman Janaka Ratnayaka said the measures were taken considering the increasing number of complaints that had been received on the calculation of the new electricity tariff. A special awareness program was recently held in Parliament for approximately 100 civil activists, leaders and female members who currently represent local governments. The awareness program covered various topics including the role of women in the democratic governance system, parliamentary affairs including legislation, standing orders, the role of parliamentarian. Leader of the opposition, Rajit Premadas, also participated in the program organised by the Communication Department of the Parliament with the aim of improving women's participation and awareness in policies. 4,464 contracts have been signed for Korean employment. Foreign Employment Bureau stated 2,980 workers have been already sent for employment. Director General of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Priyantha Senanayake, added, the Bureau targets to send over 300,000 workers in future for the foreign employment. 200,000 employees have been sent for foreign employment so far. A monthly income of $500 million are expected from the foreign employment. $330 million have been already received by Sri Lanka. The circular has already been issued to grant an electric vehicle import permit to those who send foreign currency through legitimate channels. Colombo High Court has called for hearing the case filed against MP Namal Rajapaksa and 6 others on December 8th. He and others have been accused of investing illegally earned 30 million rupees in a private business enterprise. This order was issued when the case was taken up before High Court Judge Navaratna Marasinghe. Meanwhile, the petition filed by the Kelly Fraser on her deporting was rejected by the Supreme Court, subjected to 100,000 rupees cash fee today. Steps have been taken to order essential medicine for a period of 3 months at once. So far, the authorities have ordered essential medicines for 1 month. By taking this step, it is expected to minimize the future drug and medical equipment shortages. Minister Keheli Rambukwala issued these instructions to health authorities during the discussion held today at the ministry. He further instructed them to utilize Indian credit line facility in the health sector. That ends local news.
Nobody tells time like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Education Ministry has planned to conduct a series of support seminars for students with the aim of raising academic achievement levels of the students who will be sitting for the GC Advanced Level Examination 2022. These seminars are scheduled to be held across the country with the contribution of the resources of the lecturers from public universities, covering all streams such as science, commerce, technology and art. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Department of Motor Traffic has decided to extend the validity period of the temporary driving license issued for a period of 6 months to 1 year. The department said validity period of such temporary driving license can be extended at the head office of the Department of Motor Traffic in Verahera or at the offices in the respective districts of residence. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. A queue builds ahead of Queens lying in state. Ukraine's targets eased after rapid counteroffensive. EU chief sets out plans to tackle energy crisis. World news in detail. Large queues are forming along the banks of the River Thames as people wait for the Queen's lying in state to begin. The Queen's coffin remains at the Buckingham Palace ahead of the procession to Westminster Hall later. Princes William and Harry, along with the King Charles III, will walk behind the coffins as it is carried on a gun carriage. During the procession, guns will be fired at Hyde Park and Big Ben will stall. Ukrainian officials say they are targeting towns in the eastern Donbas region after making a series of gains in a rapid counteroffensive. In recent days, Ukraine's army reclaimed swaths of occupied territory, forcing Russian troops to retreat. President Vladimir Zelensky said his forces were fortifying their hold over 8,000 square kilometers of retaken territory in the Kharkiv region. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen has called for cuts to electricity use across the bloc and windfall taxes on energy firms to tackle high prices. She told the European Parliament that gas and electricity prices had hit all-time highs after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. She called for electricity consumption to be cut at peak hours by at least 5%. But plans for a cap on the price of the natural gas, a key Russian export to EU, were put on hold. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. A queue builds ahead of Queens lying in state. Ukraine targets East after a rapid counteroffensive. EU chiefs sets out plans to tackle energy crisis. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. Operations of Lotus Tower in Colombo are scheduled to begin tomorrow. The loan agreement between the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka and China was initiated with the commencement of work on the Lotus Tower in 2012. The loan installments are due to be completed by 2024. Chief Administrative Officer of the Colombo Lotus Tower, retired Major General Prasad Samarasinghe, said that both local and foreign investors have joined to invest in the Lotus Tower, and 22 investors have so far expressed their interest to enter into contracts. That ends development news.
Sports News is brought to you by... With many values that bind us beyond the transaction, we are Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Mahela Jayawardene has taken up a broad role at Mumbai Indians as the franchise global head of the performance. In his new position, Jayawardene will oversee the coaching and scouting at all the three teams. Four franchise owners now have Mumbai Indians in the IPL, MI Emirates in the ILT20 and MI Cape Town in the SA20. Zahir Khan, earlier the director of the cricket operations, is now the global head of the cricket development for the three teams. In a statement, the group said that the team management recognized the need for a central team at the helm of the affairs because of the company's expansion to ensure consistency on ethos, values and learning that have made Mumbai Indians one of the most loved cricket brands across the globe. That ends the sports news.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB, now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with 100% government guarantee.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Behavioral, the next generation esports platform, has emerged with $2.5 million in seed funding to bring some of the world's biggest sports to the metaverse. Co-founded by the cricketing legend Kumar Sangakkara and entrepreneurs Dr. Dinuk Jayasuriya, Reza Mogden Ismail and Krishan Digalla, Behavioral is the tech company building a new virtual sporting world on the metaverse, where sports people are virtually characters powered by the artificial intelligence. That ends Business News.
Business News, Sponsored by
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB. Now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with 100% government guarantee.
Moving on to economic news, Chairman of Sri Lanka Export Development Board, Suresh Demal, said Sri Lanka exporters must endeavour to enter the Japanese health food market and add to the virtual foreign exchange earnings for Sri Lanka. He said the global health and wellness food market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of over 5% to reach $1 trillion by 2027. He added that Japanese consumers have also become more health consumers, demanding clean and healthy food products that support health lifestyles. That ends economic news. Moving on to weather report. The Met Department says few showers will occur in western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, and Mathura districts. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. That ends weather report. To wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Proposal on the National Council will be submitted to Parliament on Tuesday. The circular on the retirement of state employees issued. Employees involved in fuel scandal at Ambevelu microfactory sent on compulsory leave. A training program launched for prospective overseas employees. Validity period of temporary driving license extended. Foreign news, a queue builds ahead of Queens lying in state. Sports news, Mahela Javadan takes up the role at Mumbai Indians as the franchise global head of performance. With that, we wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka.